Everyone hates James Sprague. Fire Josh Bridges. Day 2 of the Rogue Invitational in 6 minutes. I'm giving myself an extra minute because yesterday 5 minutes took 9 minutes. The Hinge Invitational 2025.
My back is broken.
The Rogue Hinge-vitational. The Hinge-vitational.
Spinal.
Where there is so much hinging and so many broken backs that Joshua Bridges actually seems to consider changing the weights on the deadlift for Saturday.
You know, there's always still time to adjust things.
Because did he test these workouts? It's crazy to me. You have to know this ahead of time. And maybe this is what happens when you've got somebody completely disconnected from CrossFit. Like, does he even really do CrossFit? Do you just randomly scribble on a pad and hope that it all works while you go squat not to depth in your garage? Josh Bridges basically said, man, those events were crazy yesterday. They should not have all been in succession. How will these people survive?
Are you worried about what that athletes might be waking up feeling like tomorrow morning or Sunday morning, or, the order of events?
I wouldn't say I was worried about it, but yes. Those 2 workouts back to back is crazy.
Who programmed this? Sir, you did.
Make me happy.
I would let him know, but I'm blocked. This is a guy with an ego so fragile that he blocks anybody who even mildly pushes back because he can't handle the lightest criticism. How do you expect someone like that to evolve if their programming isn't up to par? Which it's not. Hiller's post makes a really good point.
Maybe the pegboard, aka the entire event.
In most of these workouts, it's one thing that really matters, and the rest is sort of just there as a nice-looking accessory.
You're talking about a guy who literally critiques people's movements. The guy's a joke.
After workout 3, people are literally in tears, breaking down and crying in the back.
I'm hearing that it's just carnage. I'm hearing that there were people crying in the back.
While the chiropractors are counting their stacks of dollar bills. BPC orders and TB are shooting through the roof, and spinal surgeons are preparing their scalpels.
3 rounds would have made the point. The 4th round was just kick you while you're down.
I think Josh Bridges might have outstayed his welcome. Other travesties include the people, aka everyone in the media, the good guys who over and over say, stop underestimating Sprague. We got to take him seriously now. John Young says it. Hiller comes in and talks about how Sprague's 3rd place finish in the games legitimizes his previous win, and those things are all true. But then when push comes to shove and it's time to start ranking people, it's like...
And everyone loses their minds.
Well, not me. I took him 3rd on my Rogue preview video, and I changed that pick to 1st on the Heat 1 app. Oh no, it's Rogue, it's heavyweight. James is going to suck. When I started looking at the list and all these names, because the guys are really, really good, somebody's got to miss out. It's not going to be Sprague. Over and over and over again. The games was only 10 events and had a max lift. He took 3rd. Wodapalooza had a heavy hang clean. He won it. Tour Stop 1 and Tour Stop 2, at least one of them had a max lift, and I think they both had really heavy stuff, and he took 2nd in both, I believe. He's not going anywhere. He's going to win the CrossFit Games in 2026. He's unquestionably the best CrossFitter on the planet right now. The top 10 is really, really good. There is a log jam, but James is consistently the best. He's 22 years old and probably the only threat right now to have 3 or more fittest man on earth titles under his belt when all is said and done. John Young ranking him 11th going into this is criminal. Event 1. And event 1 is kind of what we were talking about earlier. The only thing that really mattered ultimately was the pegboard. Topper said that he learned the pegboard the day before he left, and it was James Sprague that taught him, and then he won the event. It makes such a difference that Colton Mertens not being able to navigate it had him not just in dead last, but dead last by a mile. And the people that were good on it did good. Horvath dominated the pegboard and she won the event. Alex Kazan was looking really good and ultimately just blew up on the last section of the pegboard. The bench press didn't really matter. I would have liked to see it like John Young wanted and seen it be heavy so that it did matter. While Alex Kazan spent like 3 minutes on her last section of the pegboard, Lowen and Campbell snuck past her, and Emma Lawson caught up to her to tie her in the event. Horvath won the event by 3 minutes and 38 seconds. Up until this point, Abigail Domet and Haley Adams are hugely disappointing, but Haley Adams is just in another world. She looks almost to the level that Kale Lehman was at Mayhem. And Hatfield takes 15th and is sitting in 13th at a place, Rogue, that in theory he should be doing better at than the games. So maybe Brian Friend is onto something. Coverage really kind of sucked on this one. They pointed out on one of the podcasts, they kept showing Hopper benching. They didn't show Hatfield at all. So while it's assumed that he was over there failing on the pegboard while people passed him, we didn't actually see it. We were seeing a lot of rowing and benching, which didn't really matter when they should have been focused on the races from the pegboard and having a camera angle so that you could see everybody at the same time. They sort of made up for it on the duels because the camera coverage was really good on that one, in my opinion. Which it should be because there's only 5 people going against each other in a short race, so everybody's going to be in the same spot at once. And the duels are very unique to Rogue. At first, it seems really fragile that only 60 seconds could change the whole course of an entire event. If on an event that's like a 35-second event, if they happen to trip and fall in the first round and take dead last, now they've gone from first place to like 7th place, and it can change everything. But the fact is that the games and many other events have had short sprints as well, whether it's 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Anytime it's shorter, you have less room for error. And accuracy is one of the fundamental aspects of fitness. You have to be able to show up for a short period of time for a sprint when needed and execute on that sprint. It is a different type of event. Once again, dominance on display by Laura Horvath. She is taking over. She wins this for her second event win in a row, as well as Jason Hopper, now making his record event wins at Rogue even greater. I think he's at 9. Krennikov and Spiegel gave him a run for their money in the finals. The little guys really suffered. Austin Hatfield and Colton Mertens took dead last. The final heat of men, the heights were 6'2", 6'2", 6 foot, 5'11", and 5'10". The length definitely helps the running, the jumping, and the pulling of the sled, or whatever that thing's called. Bringing us to the final event, which is a ski erg buy-in, back and forth between wall-facing, strict handstand push-ups, strict handstand push-ups.
They're executing these handstand push-ups, and this is where we have to look at standards here from a hip position. Is Laura loading her hip there to get an advantage to climb the wall?
I think this has been brought up before. And after that, ascending weight, descending reps, 4 deadlifts, up to 350 pound for the women and 500 pound for the men. Ski erg doesn't much matter other than getting you slightly fatigued. And when the handstand push-ups aren't affecting people like Laura Horvath, James Sprague, they're probably not enough. I think it's like 31 total, and it just doesn't make a dent. This is another situation where there are movements inserted into workouts that aren't really affecting the workouts. After, unsurprisingly, Olivia Kerstetter crushes the heavy weight and Horvath takes second with those questionable reps, Horvath is the leader by a lot headed into day 3. Kazan will be in second. Spiegel will remain in third, 5 points ahead of Olivia, who is 5 points ahead of Lowen, who's in fifth. Brandon, Lawson, Wells, Campbell, all well back, but in the top 10. 500 pounds for the men is close to their max for some of these guys. I know a while back, it might have been a year and a half now, I think Sprague was right around 500. I think I heard somewhere he's like 530 or 540 now, though. And I know it's a tough lift for Ricky, but ultimately it didn't much matter. It was an okay event. I liked it. I think it just should have had more handstand push-ups because it didn't really affect anyone. No one was in danger of failure anywhere in this workout. And maybe if it was a complex, something, anything to have more than one movement matter in a workout. This was never supposed to be a good event for James with the handstand push-ups and a heavy deadlift, but he mitigated it well, taking another top 10, taking 10th. Vellner wins and is legitimately in the lead by a good bit going into the last day. Like Andrew Hiller said recently, I'd like to inject some Patrick Vellner into my veins. I'd also like to take a peek around his medicine cabinet just to see what's in there. Adler is in second. Hopper and Medeiros tied for third. Sprague is in fifth. Crouch is in sixth, and it's close between those. After that, it's Roman, Ricky, Colton, and Henrik. Tomorrow, we're headed for what's rumored to be a running event, which will favor Adler, Sprague, Roman, Ricky. And on the women's side, Horvath, Lowen should be okay. Kerstetter, Spiegel, Gazan could potentially have issues. How'd I do? What did I say I was going to do this in? 9, 10 minutes? All right, see you guys tomorrow.